we're going to have probably the finger on the pulse of the market just as much as the agents, if not more, because we're teaching productive agents.
This is your first day in real estate, and I am your real estate sales trainer and coach, James Festini. And this is the program that's going to teach you how to sell more real estate in less time.
This summit is comprised of speculation to be not, right? And no opinions of what could happen. But what we're seeing in the current marketplace and how we can immediately, like, first responder of the real estate world and see how can we, how's it affecting, individuals as coaches. I mean, the majority of the people coming in here are coaches, and we're going to have probably the finger on the pulse of the market just as much as the agents, if not more, because we're teaching productive agents. We're the ones who are actually sharing our perspective from the perspective of other top producing agents. So if agents are not productive, then they're not losing deals. So they don't really count. We're talking about people who are actually, in the middle of a transaction thinking, okay, it's, my deals are falling apart, sellers are canceling. So now I want to hear your suggestions and what you think we can do in this marketplace, Borino. You being the expired specialist, you would definitely be, on the front of what it would take to get people to solicit and prospect and continue to reach out, when it comes to lead generation.
Great question.
What is your angle on that?
One thing I will tell you will lose some business. There will be some people who will pull out, whether it's buyers or sellers. And there will be times where there's nothing you can do about it because it isn't their best interest. Now, I'm not talking about the legal element. I'm talking about the human part.
Right.
If new circumstances or conditions mean selling and moving or buying and moving is not in their best interest, then so be it. So you, as a productive agent, be ready for it. What that means from a practical marketing, lead generation, staying sustained, building and at least sustaining your momentum means you got to do more. You got to really step up. If you thought lead generation and prospecting and marketing was a challenge before, you got to at least double those efforts. And because, like with expireds, what I always taught, go there face to face. You're going to have very little competition. You're going to build a relationship very quickly with sellers and convert them sometimes on the spot into sellers. That option right now is off the table for at least foreseeable future. So number one, you got to step up and do more. Be ready for it. Be ready that you're going to lose some business. Number two, don't let that get in your head. There is still plenty. There's still plenty of business. I was teaching at Expired Bootcamp this morning, first session, and I was quoting some numbers. During the worst times, remember the bubble 2006, 7, 8?
Yeah, it was
a bad time to be in real estate. It was a bad time to be a real estate agent. We still closed over 4 million transactions that year, 4.1 to be exact.
Yep.
A lot of business when times are really bad. So understand, no matter what's going to happen, if you double your efforts, and I'll give you some practical things you can do right now, there'll be buyers and there'll be sellers. So if you keep the precautions in mind and eliminate that can put you in harm or put your prospects or your clients in harm, you can still generate business. There is still a way to communicate with people. And more importantly, there are still people out there who need your help. There are still people out there. If you check your MLS, there are new listings hitting the market. There are pendings every day. There are solds every day. The market has not gone anywhere, especially with the low rates like we have right now. And if the market will tank, which again, nobody really knows where this is going to go, up, down, stays the same, who knows?
Right.
There will always be people who will need your help now more than ever, because here is the good news. This market, this kind of crisis that we're in, will eliminate incompetent people that should not be in this business to begin with. It will scare them off. They won't know how to generate business, get deals, close deals. You will have big, wide open opportunity to step in and fill that void. So look for it. Now, from a practical point, how do you work good probability leads like expires and for sale by owners? Look at for sale by owners. 8% of transactions closed, lowest ever, closed 2019. They couldn't sell when things were good. Now imagine how more challenging, more difficult it is for FSBO to sell now. They need you now more than ever. So start approaching them now, not with that needy list with me now. That's what most agents do. Go with more like, how can I help? Do you still want to proceed? If somebody walks in tomorrow, offers you a good price, would you consider it? Would you take it from a qualified buyer? What are you doing to protect yourself? This kind of stuff. Offer advice, offer help, and offer that centered, confident, competent guidance that people are looking for. Same with expired listings. Think about it this way. If a listing expires today, Would they have accepted an offer a week ago? In most cases, the answer is yes, of course. They were on the market a week ago. So just because it didn't sell doesn't mean their dreams, their hopes, their desires, their plans have just changed. Sometimes, but not always. That also means opportunity. Now, here's what it means from a practical standpoint. Some of these people will be so scared and nervous and will have the option to wait this out. And that's okay. This gives you a chance to connect with them, to build connection with them, to build trust and relationship with them. And then when they are ready and the conditions are right for them to make the move, not when you want the listing, but when they're ready, you'll be able to step in as the person they like, trust, and respect, as the friend in the business. You can become that friend through some nurture. So you will need two things. You will need a strong first impression, good connection at the beginning, phone, text, direct mail. Video is huge right now. You should all be doing videos, guys. I will be doing a series of short training for you on Rockstars, how to do that. Replace face-to-face with video. Tools like Zoom, FaceTime, or just simple text messaging video to these prospects was really, really well. Follow up. Remember, it is not in the first contact. It is the nurture. It is the keeping in touch. It is the repetition that will establish familiarity. And that's the foundation of building relationship and trust. You keep those things in mind while keeping cool, while understanding that there's still business out there. There are still people who need you, who now more than ever look up to you for common sense and calm advice rather than emotions and scare tactics. You will clean up. You can not only survive this, but do really well. Because there was an article in Reuters, and they published a study, and I think it was like 2009 or 2010, after the big debacle we had. And they found it created more millionaires than any other calamity we've been through. So this will be an also opportunity not to profit from the disaster, not to profit from the people who are struggling, but profit by being the resource, being the help, being the one who is very needed right now. And trust me, friends, competent, confident, and compassionate agents are in huge demand at the moment. That's what I can share with you. Take good care of yourselves first. That's important because you can't help anybody else if you're a mess. And I don't just mean mess physically, but I mean mentally, emotionally. And I'm not saying it's easy. I have sometimes moments where I have a hard time holding it together with my family in Europe. You know, it's tough, but we'll get through this. And being able to get something like this together, and I very much appreciate what James has done to organize this, and in spite of these little technical glitches, we're still going forward with it. It is important if we cannot physically connect with each other, which we're meant to do. We are social creatures. Use the tools like Zoom, like Facebook, not to binge on stupid memes, but to have these meaningful connections, conversations where maybe you need a little help and support, or maybe somebody else who's reaching out, you can give, if nothing else, maybe just a shoulder to cry on or an ear or something that can uplift people because boy, do we need it right now. So those are my 2 cents. Is that helpful?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that was, I'm writing notes and like typing all the notes. So basically, for sell by owners, if they're on the market, they still want to sell. I mean, that was their intention. And
Yep.
that's what I'm getting out of it is if people still had places to go, people to see and things to do. And this doesn't change the dynamic of moving forward and having to. And, you know, I said this isn't speculation, but I know that as an American, we can't sit still for very long. We're going to get antsy and say, okay, we got to go do something. We got to go to work. Like people, you know, the people who are on welfare, they might not have a problem sitting around, but they're sitting around. I can't sit still. For me, all morning, I was here 6 o'clock in the morning trying to get the video and the audio set up. So finding the people who had something to do and finding solutions for them. Technology wise, obviously video. I know that I know the recurring theme for all of those, and I can see Bernice Ross is in the room. I saw Greg pop in. We got a good lineup, and I'll cue them up next. We got some powerful minds that are in here with solutions, but that's what we do. Even as a coach, we never put up with real estate agents who cry to us about their problems. We offer solutions. So this is just another problem and a solution. It's an obstacle, not a roadblock, you know. Definitely what it will be in the future, who knows, but what it is today, I know plenty of people who are still picking up the phone and calling, finding out the situation for their current past clients is going to be something that, if that's your shtick. I've never been good at calling someone I sold, in California. Now they're in Texas, and 2 years later, I'm going to suddenly be like, how's it going? What's going on, man? You looking for money? It's just going to be a weird dynamic. But if that is your thing, if you're one of those social type of agents who has truly friendships, then have conversations with friends and make this an opportunity to practice your conversation on the topic of positivity and, the positive outcomes and solutions. It's just, the whole focus is going to be solutions and staying away from bad information, so that it doesn't bring you down. It's toxic, man. I mean, whew, nothing stops me. And I've like stopped a couple times going, you're not stopped, are you? This is okay. Let's stop this now. We got to move forward. So Barino, 100-fold thank you. Sorry for making you sit through, the technical difficulty. The rumor is, I think that, the bandwidths now, I think for Facebook and Zoom and Skype, you think of the industries that are making a killing right now is Skype, Zoom, BombBomb. Right. BombBomb, I'm not paid by them, but if you're not leveraging this right now, if you've been waiting to get your video game stepped up, everyone who's going to be coming in here speaking, I guarantee they're going to say the same 4 or 5 things their way. But sometimes you have to hear the same quote from someone else to understand what you need to do. Video, communication, and reassurance. So Barina, you're 100 times my, most respected adversary out there. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
If my wife likes you, you are in.
Oh.
Every time she hears your voice, that guy is a good guy. And next, Greg McDaniel, same thing, man. She's always like, that guy he's just like you, but he actually speaks his mind. My wife stands here like a filter. So,
love it. I'm in a great group, and I'm sure you guys watching this will get tons of value out of these people.
Yeah. And on a final note, once again, let me say thank you to those who stepped forward.
Love to all of you guys. You out there.
Thank you guys.
The speakers and you, James. All of you.
Appreciate it, man. We're going to go ahead and bring on Bernice Ross.
I've been in the business. I got in the business when I was in my 20s, and it's clear I've been in the business for a long time by the way I look.
You're looking good.
I ended up running training for 4,000 agents in Beverly Hills, actively sold for 20 years. The company I worked for where I ran the training, this was back in the 90s, we were doing $1 billion a month in sales in the 1990s. Had 50 to 70% market share, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, Bel Air, Santa Monica in the over $1 million price range. And you say those prices were that high back then. And from that experience, I was able to really glean, not only we were part of what is now Realty Alliance, I was able to work with other training directors from places like Long and Foster, Baird and Warner, and we put together training programs that were the best of what all of us were doing. And as a result, that showed up in our production. And that's part of the reason those companies are still here. And the ones that have been absorbed are now part of Coldwell Banker or one of the other brands. But my whole goal is I started writing for Brad Inman back in 2001. So I'm the longest columnist on the site other than Brad. But my focus has always been, and this is what I learned from John Douglas, the man I worked for 18 years in California, that he said, I don't care if you're doing a $50,000 condo or a $50 million estate. Every single client that we deal with deserves the very best service that we can provide. And the other thing that he said to me that has guided my business after one of our competitors ripped off my training that had taken me a whole year to write, and I was in tears. And Jack said to me, he says, Bernice, the copycats will always try to imitate us. But if we're 6 months ahead of the competition, we're going to own the market. Well, we dominated the market. We didn't just own it. We dominated it. And right now, the people who are listening to this and who are hearing this on replay, you have a chance to own that marketplace where you are by stepping into the video space, by connecting, get on Zoom, connect with your clients or Skype, have face-to-face with them. I know you were saying that you're not big on calling those people in Texas. Yeah, call the folks down here, because I still have a ton of friends in California. You're missing all those referral fees you could be getting. Yeah. Hello.
Here, I never see past this. My wife does that all the time. Even with my photography, and I go, I got good equipment. She goes, but you're not that great of a photographer. I go, but I can do it. We can save like $500 a pop. She goes, it's your image to the public. I'm like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting that part. Okay, never mind. So, yeah.
Yeah. And for the guys in the room, it's really great when you have a good woman in your life. And on the converse of that, I've been holding this conference called Awesome Females in Real Estate for many years, and also was involved in the California Association of Realtors Women Up initiative. And this was all for women in senior leadership. But the thing I've heard consistently about women who are in top leadership is that each of us, about 85% of us have a fantastic man in our lives who is holding the space by handling things that that they can do for us that allow us to really concentrate on what we're doing. So this is really about coming together and working together, to achieve the greatest possible result for you, your family, and your business.
Well, thank you. So tell me, solutions. I mean, you've seen like 3 more ups and downs than me. Like,
yeah. But did you catch the last one? Because this is number 5 for me. In fact,
okay.
what I'd like to do before we go into anything else, I'd like to have Greg step into the conversation right now, because what he is doing, I mean, Greg, you've just been on fire with this thing. We did a show yesterday that'll run on Inman on Wednesday, and it was just, I just one of the best descriptions I've ever heard in my life of how to manage in this market. And I think I'd really like to see us really do a deep dive into that, because I know that people who are on here would really like to hear what he has to say in that respect.
Sure. What did I say?
Your script's going to be all over Inman apparently next week. So,
oh really?
I'm going to write it down.
Danny, I got a note from Danny. She says maybe we need to pull this out. She's the contributions editor. No, she was excited about it. I emailed her about it, so we'll see.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is fantastic. And I think that right now, like you're saying, Bernice, in the light of what everything is going on, I think not only with with what's happening, globally right now, right? I think that this is giving all of us an opportunity to take the shells off of our eyes, get out of our own way. Like James, you did a visual a second ago, putting your hand directly in front of your face. I think that's a way a lot of us have been operating, both our business and our personal lives. We've been focusing on ourselves, wholeheartedly. Look, what's in it for me, I, now. And right now, we are all isolated, but with the opportunity through video and the opportunity to serve and give and bring value to another person. If I have 2 loaves of bread, give one to your neighbor or a friend. If you have 2 rolls of toilet paper, give one to your neighbor. It's all those things, but it's about value add benefit before anything else. And I love the fact, James, when I got your invitation to do this whole, influencers panel and so on and so forth, I thought, what a brilliant, incredible idea to just be out there. And there's nothing in it for any of us that are doing this. It's purely giving of ourselves to the people who maybe are in the business, who just got into it, or looking to grow their business to the next level, or maybe they've never met Bernice, face to face, but they've been reading her articles for years, and now they can see who she is and her wonderful personality, get to meet all of us on video. But what about your clients? What about the people that you haven't reached out to? What about the folks that, let slide underneath the bridge? And now it's an opportunity to say, hey man, how's life? What's new? Can I help you? And it's just such a unique thing. If we just start looking at it through an opportunity, and don't stop after, this panel, keep going, build it into your business plan. James, you're an avid door knocker. I mean, I'm an avid door knocker as well, and it's killing me not to be out there.
Yeah.
But we can't be selfish either, right?
Right. As an active agent right now, throw us a script or 2. Let's actually, because people want to come in here and they're going to hear things that I would hope that we can bring something that they won't hear, like real-time engagements when someone calls. So are you still prospecting? Are you still calling, cold calling? Not like past clients, fear of influence. We can say, hi, how you doing? Wash your hands, stay safe, everything, all that yada, yada, and speculation.
Nah.
Cold calling, like picking up the phone and saying, hi.
Yep. I'm cold calling every single day. I'm doing beers and calls on my Facebook page. I do it from 4:30 to 5:30. I drink a beer. Beers and calls, man.
I did that yesterday. I didn't know there was other people.
And it's something I've been doing for about 1.5 years, 2 years. I have my buddy Stefan on there. Had Aaron Wittenstein on there from LGSO back on the East Coast. And
what time you
we just
drinking?
crushed it. Oh, like 12 noon. No, I'm
Well,
kidding.
till noon, like on a
Like
Monday.
no, it's so I drink a beer on
Oh,
at
a beer.
4:30
Okay.
Eastern Pacific, Western West, whatever
Pacific time.
Pacific time. I've been doing so many interviews today and I have so much hot, tea running through me. It's not even funny. But I pick up the phone and it's just like, hi, is this the owner of 123 Main Street?
Yeah,
Let's say it was you.
let me throw it out at you. Let's role play this because
Let's do expireds.
yeah, expireds. Yep, go ahead. I'll be the
Okay.
expired.
Hi, is this the owner of 123 Main Street?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, perfect, man. Well, hey, my name is Greg McDaniel. I'm a real estate agent here in the area with eXp Realty, and I'm actually doing a couple of calls from my office, and we record the calls here live for training. And I wanted to ask you a quick question. I see that your property expired back in late 2019. Did you have an opportunity to sell that home? Or is it you guys still own it?
No, we're still owning it, and right now we're going to be holding off. We don't know what's happening now with the future.
Okay, break real quick. So guys, at this point, what I'm going to do, no matter what he says, my answer is, oh, that's exactly why I'm calling. Right. So, he says, no, we're still on it. Like, oh, perfect. That's exactly why I'm calling. I'm actually calling around because of the way the market is and with the interest rates so low and the lack of inventory. Would you be considering, if I could bring you a market value that you'd consider selling, if I could bring you a buyer, would you consider selling?
Boom. Okay. That's enough. See, that is exactly what everyone here in the room needs to know, is that do I have a lead?
Mm-hmm.
When will they sell? And how do I follow up? And right now, the only avenue of follow-up, and it's going to be gray area for physically sending something, but extracting a method for follow-up, and that's exactly what you did. Okay, clearly it's not today because that's not happening. So when he has a lead, he doesn't know. The person didn't say no. They said, not right now. It's still on hold. They didn't say no. They told him something other than no. And that's my foundation, is like, you always have to listen to the variety of no that means maybe, and to know the difference between maybe and no, because people don't say yes.
Well, a no is just a no is a conditional yes, right? And people they just hear the word no. It's that evil, horrible, maniacal, little 2-letter word that freaks all of us out because we've been conditioned to understand that means rejection. I know, Bernice, you were going to jump in, but I knew you had something to say on that.
James, I'm going to go back where you said it was actually a little bit dicey about sending stuff to people. Do it, put it in a PDF and you can send them the link.
Right. Email. I'm saying physical letters. I'd love to right now. I see agents who are out there doing gift bags of like toilet paper, but as it got closer to like people shutting themselves in, I again, it goes back to, what are you paying attention to? How's this affecting you and your perception and your level of anxiety and paranoia over, something. When I was door knocking up until Friday, right? And people were like, "Are you door knocking?" Hell yeah, I'm door knocking. There's no sense of, nobody has like thrown rocks at me for door knocking. But by Monday, it started feeling like, okay, that was a weird little comment. That was a weird. This is getting weird now. Okay, fine. Back to the phones because I don't not prospect. But it was the level of nervousness, and I was looking at the mailman as they always pass me when I'm door knocking. I go, I wonder what they think about him, like And so you started seeing the rumors, and again, it's just, what am I putting my attention to in this moment, and how can I avoid letting that affect my thing? I dropped off 3 packages on Friday. I got 3 really good leads where I was like, oh yes, and then Monday I'm like, no, this sucks. But it was, I dropped off those packages wondering to myself, are they going to open them? Are they putting them into a garage until they feel it's, blessed or whatever they want to feel, So yes, email, digital, the communication. So yes.
So, one of the things that I'm doing is that there's a guy, his name is Jackson. He's out of the Portland area. He's on YouTube, and I found him. I've been following him, and I actually have had a conversation with him earlier today. And what they do is his channel is called the YouTube Agent. And so go check out the YouTube Agent. And the thing that I absolutely love about what Jackson and his business partner Jesse are doing is the fact that they are. So Jesse's the active real estate agent. Jackson was one for about a year, but then he stepped into the full marketing role, and he teaches real estate agents on this channel for free how to build a YouTube channel. It gives them the different sites he's using, the different products he's using, the different headlines he's using, different ideas for videos he's using, what the returns are, everything he's given away for free.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. And I've been stalking him and his channel for a little while now. And I just wanted to see if they had any good content there. I mean, I got to tell you, man, I carry a yellow pad everywhere. I have pages of notes from these videos because I believe that, like we're talking about in this day and age, not just what's happening in current realm, but guys, everybody's addicted to these things, right? If you ever watch people walk around in the mall, I'm surprised they don't get more bloody noses by running into glass mirrors.
Yeah.
But it's because they're always face down. But if you can connect with people and bring them value through content marketing on YouTube, which is your own television channel that you build at no cost to you and you can monetize and get a return off of, I mean, I think that's the new era. Facebook is not the place for live video. Facebook on live video is like you're ripping down the freeway at 65 to 85 miles an hour, however big of a lead foot you have. And you see that sign that says Chevron, Shell, food, McDonald's, Taco Bell, right? You look over, you see it, and you keep on going, right? Because that's in your snooze feed.
Yep.
But on YouTube, people are trained to go there for long form content. That's why you're putting this on YouTube, because people are trained to go there to watch long form stuff.
Right.
And so if we can shift to that and start becoming a marketing company, not just a real estate human being, but push this content out where people are drawn to you, they're attracted to you versus us pushing ourselves out onto them. I think that could be, actually, I know that's going to be the way that this is going to progress, because James, like and Bernice, when my dad grew up 48 years ago in the business, Bernice, that's kind of like, I just kind of whoops. Well, you and my dad are very like-minded. Let's put it that way.
We're seeing vintage, they're
vintage.
about to give or take a little bit.
but that's the good stuff, because what you guys did when you started in your business is you did your social media, social marketing the way that you had ability at your time, right? Now it's transitioned into another place where, Bernice, you can be in your office, I can be in mine, James, you can be in yours, and we can push content out that's value add to everyone who's watching, and they can search us, and it's free.
Yeah, that's awesome. The YouTube thing, especially, it's again video, but the second half of video is going to be the location where you put it, where the attention span, how long do they have in each one of them, chopping them up, repurposing. Anybody who watches Gary Vaynerchuk, especially if you're a content creator, which that's, he says that we are a media company who happens to sell real estate.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. It's always been a popularity contest. Real estate, the most popular agent wins, period. The most people who know, and can actually hold a conversation.
James, let me challenge you on that, because the numbers say differently.
Talk to me.
So the average consumer knows 12 real estate agents. They hire, when they get ready to list a property, and these are NAR numbers, 75% of the time they hire the first person that they interview face to face. So, when I got in the business, everything was face to face. You could mail stuff. It was either telephone. I spent a lot of time on the phone, or face to face.
Right.
But it has come back around. It's still, whether you're getting online leads, whatever you're doing, the number one thing you need to do is to schedule that appointment, because the person who gets to that, that buyer or seller first gets the business.
Right.
75% of the time, my only competition on a listing appointment is me.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Well, that's why I door knock. I like to think that
That's exactly why you should door knock.
Yeah, for sure. And challenge, totally accepted and beaten. I agree. It is the first agent they get there. And in many cases, it's the first agent they think of. If somebody it doesn't happen to be there, it is, it's being able to be top of mind or be in front of their face. And right now, the stream, everybody is glued to these media platforms, and you've got to not just be in one, you have to be Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Instagram post, the feed. A lot of people don't even understand that Instagram has two places. It's not just one. It's the story and the feed. Snapchat is just the story. TikTok is just a story, but Facebook has two places. It is the story at the top with all the little bubbles, and the feed. And if you can daily, right now, there's two things I'm recommending people get physically fit right now. This is like a kick butt boot camp. Physically go go out and run around in your backyard and do calisthenics and get in physical shape, but also step up your video and your tech game and be able to produce, a daily piece of content. Know it's going to suck. Everybody has their suck period of when it's really bad doodles. And then the more you practice with a guitar or art, it's going to look terrible. But if you stick with it, make this to be not a shutdown, but an intensive boot camp for learning things that you should have 2 years ago. That's my chime.
So here, let me dovetail on that, because I think what you're saying here, James, is incredibly powerful. And so I've found a couple of different resources that folks, you don't have to go reinvent the wheel when it comes to this. So yeah, we're locked in. That's kind of a bummer. But here's some sources that I want you guys to write down. So pull up this prehistoric writing tool. It's called a pen, where all you millennials get those thumbs ready and start to write a text.
Yeah.
But I want you to, so this is, well, number one is neighborhoodscout.com. So neighborhoodscout.com, where I want you to do to this is don't put in an address. I want you to go put a zip code of an area that you work, right? Now that's going to be free. If you put an address, it's going to cost you. If you put a zip code, it's free.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's going to, go ahead.
Nice.
Okay. So then what's going to come up, it's going to do an outline of that zip code. Now within that master zip code, there's going to be micro markets with different colors, right? Now, once you click on a micro market, now there's probably, given your zip code, I don't know, like 5 or 7 or 10, I decide, it depends how big it is, but click on one of them. Let's say you're going to do an open house just for giggles on this, right? Or if you're going to, James, let's say you're going to go door knocking on it, right? So you go in there and you click on it, and it's going to pull up a micro market area. It's going to give you a real estate overview on what's going on. Now, guys, this is a sword, not a scalpel. It's to get a conversation going, not going to give people exact answers. But then it's going to give you notable and unique people and places, ethnicity, ancestry, language, occupation, how people get to work, and a variety of other topics in there. So the evil ninja part about this is the fact that you can go into the different marketplaces. You can go to YouTube, create a YouTube channel, create playlists, right? Say a zip code that I work is 94596. That's where I live, right? And so within that marketplace, I can create multiple videos, probably 3 videos per micro market that I can then send out to people at the open houses going, oh, Bernice, so you guys are looking to move into the area? Well, let me do this. What's your best email? I'm going to send you over my YouTube channel about this market area so you can learn all about it. Then you can do it for all the other micro market areas. And guys, you do it right here. Since we're in our houses right now, you can shoot from your office, but just create this content. So go digest that for a second. But if you want to put out other videos, and this is going to be out for just you getting smarter as a real estate agent, you go out to realtytimes.com. So go to realtytimes.com, go to the consumer advice tab, run your mouse over. It's going to drop down. It's going to give multiple different choices. There's 7 of the top 7 are what you want to get. It's going to be homeowner, buyer, seller, new home, homeowner, HOA, mortgage. I think that's the 6 or 7 of them, but they've already created sexy little titles with a 1 to 2 page little article. And I'm not saying plagiarize. I'm not saying that at all. I want you to read the article. Then I want you to give your opinion about the article, give credit to the author, give credit to the site. Like, hey, I just read this great article on realtytimes.com. Bernice Ross wrote another killer article. This is the 6 things you need to get ready for spring. These are my opinion on them. Bop, 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 bop. Again, who you are at the front, who you are at the bottom. And you can do this 1 video a day, 7 days a week on 7 different subjects. You never get old. And you always bring value. And then Bernice, you have a good friend of yours that created a website called Curbed. Tell us a little bit about Curbed.
Oh, that actually is Lockhart Steel. And Curbed they operate in 2 major markets in New York and in Los Angeles. But what they did, the whole site is dedicated to what's happening in the real estate industry in those areas, everything from condos to luxury properties to what's in the street. So, that's a great thing to check out. There are a lot of resources out there, Greg, that are really useful.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you go to realtor.org and check on the research, you'll get what the latest statistics are in terms of what's going on with the interest rates, all kinds of other interesting reports that they're doing, and you can pull out a piece of information from those. Most content creators are very happy if you will share they write something and you quote them, or you grab it, or even if you interview them, a lot of people are very happy to jump on and share with you because they want to get the word out there. So that's another thing. Inman, as far as I'm concerned, Inman News is, just by the number of people, they are an excellent resource for information. And what you can do is take what's in an Inman article and say, okay, how does this apply to my client? So I saw something, and I don't remember what it was today. I think it was actually on Down Payment Resource. And they were saying, what's going to be the impact of zero interest rates on mortgage rates? Well, the truth of the matter is probably not that much, because what is happening with the Fed funds is different from what happens with mortgage. But we're right at historic lows. And again, watch what's going on over there, because those articles become really great resources to share with your clients, not by copying what's in them, but by, as Greg said, giving your opinion. And then also by and matching up that content for what is right for my consumers. So if it's, I write a lot of articles on how to help your buyers and sellers. There's good content in there where you can just take a piece of it and just say, this was on Inman News today. Here's a quick paragraph, attribute it to Inman, and then off you go. So, that's another way if you're doing that type of content. Now, Greg, you're doing all your content via video for all intents and purposes, right?
I am doing everything I am doing on video, and there's two reasons why I'm doing it. One, I've never met a microphone or a camera I don't like, and I'm very blunt about that. And number two is that video is a living business card when you put it in the right place. So I have a company called Viral Marketing. Been using them for about 5 years, and they create a great video and a great blog for me. And so I can take this, I can push this out to a lot of folks, and they're watching videos at 2:00 in the morning, and I don't even know what's going on. And they give me a call like, hey man, I watched this video. I'm like, oh, very cool. And that's why I believe it's so powerful, because people, we're storytellers, and we want to see, our brain and reacts to another human's face. We like to watch the subtle changes in them, and then it either energizes or de-energizes us. And if you find someone that's got some passion and some fire and some, just chutzpah to go after and get what they want, or they got a passion about a subject matter, you get excited about that, right? And so to bring value and energy to another human being that has the same like mind as I do, I haven't found another medium that can do that. I mean, I did a radio show for a year here in the Bay Area on the biggest station in the Bay called KGO, and it was great, but it couldn't communicate because 56% of our communication is done visually. So we're losing over half of our visual communication without being able to see the other person. And I think that's why I'm so heavy into this, Bernice and James, is because people want to see another person. They want to be told a story, and you want to learn about the other person's story so you can help them in the best possible manner, not self-serving and going after your own pocketbook, but being able to help change their lives and ask them one simple question. If you ask, and James and Bernice, I would love to get your opinion on this. And Bernice, you know what I'm going to ask, but James, you don't.
Okay.
When's the last time you've been asked this simple question, James? James, hey man, it was really great meeting you at this networking event. What does your perfect client look like? So I want to help you grow your business. I meet a lot of folks, help me understand how I can help you grow your business. And then shut up.
Yeah. Nobody has ever asked me that.
So what does your perfect client look like?
What do they already look like? I mean, if I design them based on it, it's over 50 and just good. It's hard to describe, but good people, husbands and wives, and people who, are real down to earth, blue collar, hardworking, salt of the earth types that, much less under 40 crowd. I've always been more connected to people older than me. And now I'm catching up to their age. So I guess me and everyone older than me is my idea. I mean, I don't know how to describe the person except for just wonderful people, not jerks. Physically describe them, age, lived in their house 20 to 40 years and, have grandkids that probably trying to get relocated to their next destination. So they're motivated and eager to sell.
So James, if I may coach you for a moment.
Sure.
What Greg is describing is, and what you just described is who you're attracting. And one of the most important takeaways for people in terms of, especially as we go into this time right now, go back through your production for the last 12 months And then I want you to, write down each property that is closed, price range, location, and then I want you to get some information about who that person was. Age, were they married? Did they have kids? What's their career? Where are they moving from and where are they moving to? And then, when you've got all those fields done, go through and look for the patterns. And I've done this with when I've taught business planning, and I've worked with a lot of clients, coaching clients with this, kind of more in the corporate speaking part of the business, with big room. But what comes out, and I'll use one client in particular, when I did this with her, she found out that she had a sweet spot around 600 to 700,000. She was in Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Condo sweet spot was 250 to 350. And then, much to her surprise, about 45% of her business was single women who were either divorced or single in the high-tech industry, no surprise. But then she had done 3 transactions with people from India. And I suggested to her that, hey, you're attracting these people, and that can be an excellent resource for your business. The following year, she got a $2 million listing from that group and did a $4 million sale. So it's like looking at who you're attracting. And I have a what I would call a fieldwork assignment, if you're ready to take it, James.
Is it a download, or do I write something down?
No, it's so. I was leading this coaching call, and one of the people on the call had done close to $350,000 in business, net to him in about 7 months. And I asked him, "How did you go about doing it?" And he says, "I made a list of all the characteristics of my ideal client, right down to the tie and belt that he wore. And when I asked him, I says, has your ideal client shown up yet? And he says, no, but a lot of his brothers and sisters have."
I'll take that. I'll take that. No, but it's true. It's true.
So have clarity about what you're attracting, then build on that. And then, and then when you look at who you want to attract, the second part of it is, if you want somebody who's funny, well, are you funny? If you want somebody who's going to be honest, are you honest? You have to be all those characteristics to attract those people. We attract who we are. So that's a huge coaching takeaway that I found to be very effective for many, many years.
And that's the same thing as what Greg was saying about living your true self behind the camera and exposing yourself, your flaws and your, strengths. And you will attract the very same people who are attracted to you, and the people who you attract also have similar, friends and family. And, it's not everyone can be dynamic or explosive or highly entertaining, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there, especially right now. If you're spreading, and this is one of the things, that we are real estate agents. That's it. Like, there's no reason for you to really even go as far as to share information about who's got bread, where the toilet paper's at. I mean, I like to do the funny memes on Instagram just because I'm a joker, in good taste. But to send out information or speculate, or even, there, in community pages, you can like it if you see something that is relevant and not sensational or negative, and it does bring value. Obviously, if somebody says, hey, I just left Costco and then you can share. But even that stuff, it's almost like we're real estate agents. We are that media company, but our product is not to do anything other than advertise real estate related conditions, market conditions, and what's happening to the market. So we can talk endlessly about interest rates right now. We can talk about how the market is behaving, the price value, all that stuff that we can, genuinely provide value. Like Greg said, It's got to be the value.
Now, James, again, I'd like to give a different approach. The research shows 90 to 95% of your posts on the social media need to be about the other person, only 5% about you and your business, because what we know now is that people are moving before COVID-19 hit. People are only moving once every 10 years. So only, 90% of the people that are out there don't care that you've got a new listing or something. They don't care about the interest rates. But it's like finding what matters to them. And let me give you an example. When we look at people who are in the luxury market, first of all, they're all germaphobes if they've got $1 billion or more. just, to start with. But the other thing is that the ones that have a tremendous amount of money, they are collectors. They collect really weird stuff sometimes. So, ask what their personal interests are. And then instead of blasting something out to your entire group, if you find an article or something that person that's of interest to them, then great. And then on Facebook, instead of pushing out stuff about me, the better approach is to say you have 150 top influencers or people who are your best, your A for angels in terms of whether or not they refer business to you.
Mhm.
Okay, so you go through that list, but you reach 5 of them each day. So, and you go through their Facebook or their LinkedIn or their Twitter feeds or wherever they are, and then you look for what they've posted and you respond to what they post. And then if anybody else responds to that post, you respond to that as a way to build your connection. So
Right.
it becomes about you're connecting with them about what matters to them rather than what matters to me. And there's nothing wrong with sharing things about, right now, one of the things I would definitely want to be doing is looking if prices are coming down. If so, when property tax time rolls around at the end of the year or first part of next year, can they go for a reduction in their taxes because their property value is down? So again, you're always looking at how it's going to benefit
Right.
that particular individual.
Right. Yeah, just providing the value. In many cases, you're talking about when it's a two-way conversation and targeting, individuals and trying to specify, get on their specific needs and like. So if you do definitely work in a demographic where, if farming is one of your communities, that when it's a one-way conversation, you try not to be, you try to remain as general as you can so that you do paint a broad stroke of similarity so that people can like it. The market, if it's in a certain zip code, then we talk about that market. I'm talking about the characters and the dynamics that go beyond like, I don't do that me stuff. It's just, here's what's happening around me. And because you're part of my community, this might be curious.
Exactly. Well,
Drives me nuts when people do that.
You hit the nail on the head, James, in terms of it's about the community. So one of the things I've seen that really works, people go, you can go to your city council meeting and report back with what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Or if there is a new, there's a new initiative that's going to be voted on locally, track down the people who wrote it, get them on video, what's going on with that. So it comes back to being that piece of service that I talked about at the beginning. It's always about the service first. And when that's how you build the connection is what leads to the business.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to throw this back to Greg, because I know people are also looking at like the description objections. Cause again, this is all the things that we as prospectors, that's the thing, is like, we still need to be reaching out. We're going to reach out to people and we can create this content, but do this on your break. Like, do this when you get up and stretch. Don't be sitting there making videos all day, because chances are, unless you've been doing this a long time, no one's even watching. People shouldn't be afraid to make videos. I mean, my sister, bless her heart, she's constantly posting stuff, but she only gets like 1 or 2 people. It's only within like 10 family members, and she puts it out like she's a power influencer. And I go, why don't you do this like to the public if you're going to share so much? But we have to know that you still have to keep moving forward. Greg, so you're still calling. Someone says, what are you, crazy now in this? Oh, hi, my name is Adrian with company, right? Your
Right.
spiel. And they say, what are you, crazy? It's hellfire and brimstone out there.
You know what? You're right. I probably am a little bit crazy, but you know what? I still got to make my calls. It doesn't mean I want you to move right now, but you know what? Are you thinking about making a move whenever the fire and brimstone comes to a halt? Because I'm the type of guy who doesn't stop, even when fire and brimstone are hailing down from the heavens. I'm still out there with a trench coat on, mowing through. I got my battle armor on, and I'm fighting for you and your family. Now, that's what you want as an agent, don't you? You don't want someone sitting home sucking their thumb. You want someone out there fighting for you, right?
Yep. And again, to chip it down to the simple, it is, he was still trying to find out, was that a lead? when were they thinking of selling? The thing is that now the people who will say no to you will always say no to you in some way. You know, you get the people who say not until spring, and then spring comes, they're like not until summer, and then not until summer, and then they say not until fall, and then they're like, well, wait till after the holidays, and after the holidays, they're like after the season, and it's they'll constantly be pushing you into the no. If they are a maybe, they'll constantly push you into the maybe. But now the interaction remains the same. It is either yes or no, or which is usually maybe or no. And what you went to is, are you pretty much, are you interested? You know,
Yeah. So you
is
down
it
or
what
what?
you're looking for? I mean, I hear your response, but are you interested? They're like, never. Well, hell, why didn't you say that in the first place? Thank you very much. Have a nice day. You know?
Exactly. But I also play with them like a cat plays with a ball of yarn. So if you're a jerk to me, I'm going to bat you around and not do it in a rude way, but I'm going to play with you. That's for darn sure. And so, when people say, what are you doing? Can I help you? And I'll say, I don't know, man. Let's find out if you can. This is why I'm calling. And people stop in their tracks when I do that. When people say, I'm going to be moving next summer, or I'm going to move in this spring. And I say, you know what? That's fascinating. I've had 3 other people tell me the same thing. What about spring are you waiting for? Because I'm always curious to figure out why you're thinking about making a move. Now, 1, I'm putting them on the spot. 2, I want to actually pull the answer out of them. And I know they're not going to have an answer, right? They're going to be like, oh, it's the time. Look at the time. I got to go. But I mean, it's just purely having a conversation with them and just trying to bring that value out. Like I said, my dad, when he started in real estate, he was door knocking in Boulder, Colorado, in the snow, in his galoshes, with the mindset of, I have the cure for polio. Everybody likes me. They just don't know me yet. Because he was brand new to the area. I mean, nobody knew him. He went out there and just brought value, asked question after question after question. And he's exceedingly successful.
Yeah, that's a huge, let me emphasize that. And that is for everyone listening. If you believe that you're a good agent, you should not have any problem picking up the phone and calling people and stopping them from choosing the wrong agent. Like, it is literally like me blocking the next guy from screwing it up for them and giving us a bad name. I work way too hard for these ding dongs to take my business.
That's totally true, James. And that's exactly the right mindset. No, I'm not talking trash about any agent out there, but there are some agents that they're not bad people. They just don't understand the business correctly, and they can mess up a transaction by one faulty move. And you, with your experience, you can come in and be like, hey man, I know you like this individual, but let me show you how my team will take care of it for you. And again, if they're under a written contract or anything like that, obviously you don't poach on other people's clients. If they're a free agent, a free client, go out there and talk with them and bring value to them. But I mean, at the end of the day, the only competition you truly have, you guys, is yourself. Are you going to stop yourself, or are you going to allow yourself to have the success? James, you brought up the whole fear of I believe, of money and believe of success. And, people stop themselves all the time because they aren't deserving. They aren't worthy. My dad and mom didn't have any money. I slept on the floor when I was a kid. Everyone knows money is evil. All these things play into your mind when in reality, look, man, it's a lot more fun to be rich than it is to be poor. I've been both. And you can help a lot more people with a couple $1 million in your bank account than you can with a couple pennies in your pocket.
Yep. Contribution and mindset is what I get out of both of your guys. Most excellent. Thank you for joining us, Bernice.
Well, thank you for organizing this, because what you're doing is very important. So
you're doing the Lord's work, my brother, James. You're doing the Lord's work.
I'm working on sainthood. The stuff I'm trying to do, I better get at least like a front row seat, because it's
a mention at least. Good Lord.
This is the 5th downturn that we're heading into that I've seen. And I've seen, gone through a major earthquake in Los Angeles where, we had, huge parts of our market where properties collapsed. And, you get through it. Many of you have experienced tornadoes, floods, the things that can happen. We get through it. It's just like you just keep doing one day at a time, do the best you can, and stay connected. That was the advice I got from Gary Keller a couple of days ago. He sent me, we were trading emails back and forth, and he said, we can get through this together. You need to stay connected with your sphere of influence so you don't fall behind on that. Be of service, help each other, and then, shift happens. That's the name of his book. Excellent book for what we're going through right now. Shift happens, then we pivot. So that's my takeaway, and that's from Gary Keller, probably one of the best, if not the best mind in the industry.
Yeah, he's brilliant for sure. I'll have you back on.
Thank you very much. Sure. I'm going to log off.
Okay.
Thanks everyone for being with us.
Bye, Bernice.
Bye.
So Greg, what sort of resistance are you getting? Like you still cranking? Oh, let me ask you, pickup rates, like more people are answering.
I'm actually getting a lot of really good responses on the for rent by owners. It's just I'm still getting a lot of people that are interested.
Some really cool. I got Jason now in the room. He never goes on camera. I think he might be a. I don't think he's a real person. I think he's just a voice, like in a jar.
No, yeah, I'm just a voice.
He's just a
I'm
voice.
just a voice, actually.
I think, and even like his books. Jason Morris, everybody in the room, welcome.
Jason, how are you, man?
Hey, Greg, what's been going on, man?
Not much, brother. How's life?
Oh, pretty good, dude. I'm just trying to survive the coronavirus, it looks like.
I know, brother. You got to wash those hands. You know, I always joke with someone. They're like, how's life over on the West Coast? I'm like, man, I'm going up to everybody. We're hugging them. I'm sniffing their shirts, and then we slowly high five and we walk away. And the guy I was talking to, he stopped for a second. He looked at me like, are you kidding? I'm like, of course I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You're crazy.
So
Yeah,
Jason is a big prospector. So I'm very curious to see what he's got. A lot of coaching clients for some of you who may or may not know. What is your group? What's your background, and what's your what gives you the authority to speak on this platform
I guess this particular platform, I've been in the business about 17, 18 years. So this is my second recession, and probably between hurricanes and stuff here. I think this is like my 10th crisis, guys.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, we have a hurricane about every other year in South Carolina. And anyway, I'll share with you guys what I'm sharing with my group coaching, because I really believe this, and I know that there's going to be people out there that think I'm crazy, but I was talking about 4 or 5 months ago, I was talking about there was going to be a recession. And we had an inverted yield curve, which is usually a good sign. And the market kept going, and I kept watching rental rates, and rental rates were just out of reach for so many people. I started noticing, and you guys have probably noticed this in your market too, people, they had to get a roommate to rent a house, right?
Mm.
And just rental rates were going like, wow, the average person couldn't really afford the average rental. So I'd seen that stuff going on in my market, and I'd seen it going on in some other markets. I was looking at buying rentals and stuff in, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but it was making a really lot of sense to buy a house versus renting a house. So I kind of knew that employment was crazy too, because even like me finding guys to do simple things on properties of my own, like painting, was getting tough, like unskilled. Well, I don't want to say unskilled, but low skilled type things, So long story short, I kind of felt like something was going to happen. I didn't know this was going to happen though.
Right. That threw all the people who thought something was going to happen for a curve, because they're like, of course.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to
Nobody's predicting this. I think Bill Gates did an episode on 10.
Whether you love Trump or you hate Trump, we are an election year. Election years are unpredictable. We went through this whole thing where they were trying to impeach him. We didn't know what was going to happen with that. Love him or hate him, dude. I mean, you didn't know if he was going to get impeached or not, right? So we had a lot of stuff going on. And then the coronavirus came. And I mean, we're still here. I believe we're at the beginning of this, guys. I don't think we're in the middle. I don't think we're at the end. I hear people go, oh, well, it's not going to be that bad, or the worst is over. I'm buying stock. And I'm like, for real? Stock market's dropped 31% this month. But I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think it's the apocalypse or anything like that. I'm not really going to go out and eat some bat soup or anything today, but I think that a lot of agents are going to go and hide their head in the sand, and they're going to hope this goes away. And it's not going to go away. This is going to change everything for us for at least a little while, right? But this is something really important to think about, you guys, is that in the next 30 to 45 days, 60 days, we're going to have millions of Americans missing their first mortgage payment. Now, I know that there's a lot of banks and the feds and everybody's talking about, hey, we're going to help people with mortgage payments. We're going to give a stimulus. We're going to do all this stuff. We're going to forgive some payments and do payment deferments and all that. However, a lot of these people, dude, when their job closes for 2 weeks, a lot of these small businesses aren't going to be here in 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Yeah, they can't close for that long.
and they can't close. Yeah, exactly. They can't close for that long. And if they do, 2 weeks with no income, I mean, yeah, I think I read the thing where you're getting $1,200 and then another $500 for family or some per person in your family or something like that. But dude, $1,200, honestly, I wouldn't turn it down, but $1,200 ain't going to help me a whole lot,
More food,
Mm-mm.
toilet paper.
You know,
Yeah, toilet paper.
But
Hey, James, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna let you guys rock and roll. Jason,
Appreciate
I
it.
need to get you guys back on the podcast, man. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Same with you,
yeah, I'd love
James.
to, man.
Appreciate it, man.
I'm humbled and honored to be a part of this. James, really appreciate it, man. You're doing great work. And Jason, I know you're gonna crush it with some content, guys. So have a beautiful, blessed, incredible day.
Thank you.
And I'll talk both of you rock stars later, okay?
I'll get you the link later. Thanks. Bye.
All right, later, guys. Later.
Dude,
All right,
so we're
uh,
going to have millions of people missing their first mortgage payment. And that's going to happen in the next 30 to 60 days. So once that happens, we're going to have a lot of people that are going to try to do for sale by owner. So I think we're going to have a flood of for sale by owner. But in the next 60, 90 days, I think we're going to have a flood of inventory.
Yeah.
So for the agents that stick their head in the sand and do nothing and basically hide in the corner and talk about how they got a raw deal and business was going good and they were just getting momentum, those agents may not be agents with us anymore, James.
yeah.
They're going to leave the business. Or they're going to have to start back at square one when things do settle down. For the agents that go out there and prospect, I know that a lot of you guys can't leave your house. You can't do anything right now. And honestly, man, I'm running around doing stuff right now because I think the same thing's going to happen in South Carolina. It's just a matter of time. Is it going to be this week or next week, So for the agents that are still out there making calls, talking to their clients, building a relationship, sending them information, talking about the market, dude, they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Dude, I talked to a guy in Utah today, and he was talking about in his MLS, there was 400 and something new listings that came on the market today.
Yeah.
And they're quarantined. And I was talking to another agent in Pennsylvania, and she was telling me how many went pending today. I can't remember the exact number, but she's talking about her MLS. There are pendings in business happening in markets that are quarantined. I mean, I know that's stressful for a lot of us and, to work from home and have kids running around and the dog and all that stuff. But there's going to be a tremendous amount of opportunity.
Yes.
And if we stick to our schedule, if we stick on the phone, if we take care of our clients, we're going to be able to benefit from that. Now, the other side of that is, guys, everybody that's listening to this, for those clients that you have that are on the fence right now, they've been talking about putting their house on the market. They hadn't committed to you, whatever. You need to call them this afternoon or as soon as this thing's over. I don't want you to hang up on me and James, but you need to call as soon as they're over, and you need to let them know that the price they can get for their house today while inventory is low, this is probably the best they're going to do right now for a little while. If they wait that 30 days, 45 days, 90 days until this all blows over, and hopefully it does blow over, right? If they wait that time, there's going to be a wave of inventory during that time. If they put their house on the market now, they can still get a good price. But that $200,000 house today in 30, 60 days might only sell for $175, right? When instead of there being one in the neighborhood, there's going to be 10 in the neighborhood. So I think that we have to call our clients, and we need to have a sense of urgency when we talk to them about this. And I know there's a lot of people, I mean, even in my market, I had somebody tell me today that they can't find a home inspector that'll go into an occupied home and do a home inspection right now in my market.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's pretty interesting. I had another guy tell me today, and I thought this was a crazy one, and hopefully this isn't true. We were just chatting about this whole thing, and he's a broker in Florida, but he owned like parts of 4 or 5 franchises. And we were talking about title companies, and he was talking about where they were located, and he was talking about Chicago Title and the markets their officers were actually located in. And this is the thing he said. He said that hey, if that market closes and they can't work from home, then who's going to write title insurance? And I go, wait a second, that's crazy. That's right. Who is going to write title insurance, right? So I think there are some challenges, but
Well, writing title insurance doesn't require pen and paper. This is all digital, right? I mean, it's everyone.
We say it's all digital.
A lot of the moving parts can still be done.
That's what I think too. I think a lot of the moving parts will still get done from wherever, but at the same time, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see.
Well, I got a comment in here. I want to share it with you. You probably still on the move, but I want to share it with you, which I haven't seen. My local board of realtors, or the California Association of Realtors, has not said anything about. They did release a COVID addendum that goes into most of the contracts, and you got to read it and see how it applies to if you got a current listing or a current sale or something going on. But there's also he's saying that a lot of businesses will be going under. Well, yeah, we'll figure that out when that happens and how bailouts happen for those. But more importantly, in New York, the state's realtor boards has prohibited all showings until further notice. Now, it's one thing to say, like right now as it stands, we can show property, and I have 2 listings right now that they're more than fine opening the door and letting people in. But it's interesting for the board of realtors in a state to say no. It's not. And I was going to say, we're trying to avoid opinions and predictions and speculation, and I'm going to hit you right now with solutions. But from what I'm seeing here is showing time is an interesting application in Southern California. I'm hoping it's nationwide. Is it over there, Jason? Showing time? Yeah, showing time is actually probably, if there's a finger on the pulse of the real estate activity, showing time is doing an interesting thing where they're showing you. Their showing time is a service that schedules appointments for showings, and they're showing a bar graph of how many calls they're getting for showing. So I know you're saying there's a lot of listings being taken and a lot of information going around that, I'm getting listings and I'm getting escrows and people are closing. I know there's going to be delays in this thing, but I want to point to solutions, and I know your solution. And I know it's the same solution it's going to be the same thing from all of the other guests, and that is prospecting. Continue to cold call and call expireds. It's a given to call your past clients and sphere of influence and say hello. That you should be doing all the time. I'm not very good at it, but you should have already been doing that, and just to touch base with them. But we still need more than anything to stockpile people who might be interested for the future. That the more people now who we're going to, when it gets the best it could be, and then finally realizing, okay, so, and even the people who are going into, if you say there's going to be a lot of defaults, you can have a lot of defaults of people with equity. So the short sale factor might not be as much as, people trying to do it by owner to save a buck, right, Jason?
Yep.
And they're going to be the for sale by owners who have equity. Why would I need an agent? So now you're going to have to, my suggestion is going to be step up your marketing game, so that when I think there's going to be a flood of for sale by owners trying to do the anti-short sale, and that is sell it on their own because they got equity. Short sales when they don't have equity. They got equity. They got $500,000 on a $900,000 house. Every penny is going to matter, and they're going to be, well, what do I need you for? With Zillow,
Yep.
With all these other, which I have a suspicion, and I said no speculation, but I'm speculating Zillow's in trouble. I think a lot of agents are gonna be like, yeah, we're not gonna pay the Zillow bill this month, because agents are gonna be like, they're leaving by the droves, and if no one's, if Zillow's not generating leads like they are, I'd be curious to see how their inquiry generation is happening right now. Are there more traffic online searching?
Man, I think that would be pretty interesting too. Like, are agents going to cancel Zillow this month?
Why would they pay if they can't go out? New York agents, I don't think, should be paying Zillow this month, because they're not going to show anything. They might just, lead generate for buyers? No, my friends, and Jason will 100% agree. Prospect. New customer acquisition, for sale by owners, expireds, cold calls. Build your database and start generating people who are saying, hell no, not right now. Great, maybe later. Yep.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people aren't really thinking about right now is, these for it by owners. These for it by owners, and if you go back in your MLS, for you guys that have MLSs that
for it by owner, Airbnb.
Yeah, Airbnb is going to be the same way, but there's a lot of these across the country right now. You can't do an eviction, is what my understanding is. I know in South Carolina, if you file an eviction today, you can't get a. It's basically been paused or stopped until May 1st. So
Yeah.
in South Carolina, eviction process is about 2, maybe 3 weeks, and they basically put a hold on evictions, and I think they've done that across the country. If I've understood that correctly.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of landlords that are about to miss a tenant payment.
Yeah.
And now this doesn't mean the tenant doesn't ever have to pay. It just means if they're behind, the landlord can't really file eviction for about 45 days.
Yeah.
So I think that's an interesting situation too. And you've got a lot of these people, if you go through your MLS, a lot of your MLSs allow rentals. Man, that's a great list to call right now.
Yep. Out of area owners, absolutely cross search them, find them out. Vacancies, if you know vacant properties, call them up. Anybody in Idaho, which is, I think, probably the most least affected state, is probably looking at California or New York going, damn, maybe they won't list right now. But I got listings right now who, like I said, they don't have a problem. You can get contracts signed, if vacancies all day long, right? Unless you're like, literally stay in place situation where, I'm not going to even bring up martial law unless it happens. Then we'll see. But we're going to have big problems if that happens, because
that's going to change.
We won't be able to protect our borders if we're protecting our, cough and cold at home. So I just can't see that. Right. So looking at what we can do right now, who do you recommend? Better yet, let's get real time. Call me. I'm a for sale by owner. That your big thing is for sale by owners and expireds.
Man, right now, it'd be an odd situation right now. I think just calling and just going, hey, James, this is Jason Morris with eXp Realty. I was giving you a call and seeing that you had a house that you're looking to sell.
Yeah.
And are you still wanting to sell it?
Well, we're not sure what we're going to do for the next couple months. Who knows where it's going to go? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy times, isn't it? Well, I seen that you still had it on Craigslist or wherever you had it. You think when this stuff levels out, you might sell it in the future?
Well, yeah. I mean, if this blows over, I don't know. I got a business right now that I'm pretty much landlocked. I'm a restaurant owner. So I was going to sell that to put more money into a restaurant, maybe open another branch. So things are uncertain.
Yeah. See, it's such a difficult call, man. I think, James, what you'd have to do is almost have the call, get as much information as you can, and then just, hey, try to follow up with them later.
Being that I was a REO king back in the day, it was a very difficult call when they dump their tragedy on you. And the interesting thing about this is that there were the people, everybody was impacted, but not everybody was like hurt, like painfully in tears, staying up late at night, like, just tragedy versus just, this sucks. And so what you have to do is identify the situation for the individual who once was thinking or might be thinking of it, and find out, as best and delicate as you can, find out what their plans are. Like, okay, so thinking maybe later, well, yeah, this is the situation. Okay, well, we'll definitely keep in touch. But it comes back to the most important thing, is that providing a value now and building that relationship now. And I'm going to emphasize to everybody that the only asset that we do still have, even though Zillow took it from us, is that market analysis. So I'm going to deliver a script right now while Jason is here, and he'll probably take it and run it with those other people. And that is, when they say no, not right now, maybe later, you ask them, hey, would it be all right if I could send you information on the market so you can keep an eye on what it's doing? And I'd love to email it to you. What's a good email address? And that's it. And with their email address, you're golden. Get people's email addresses. You're calling them often is not going to matter anymore. But if you can send them a market analysis, there's systems in different MLSs where you can create market reports where you can see that they're logging in. If you're using video email, start using a script that is designed to capture emails so that you can communicate. Yep. Should mail be contaminated? There's rumors of like people saying, I'm putting my Amazon in my garage for 24 hours kind of thing. So even dropping packages is like eerie for some people.
That's going to be weird too, man. I've always emailed my pre-listing package. I've been a
Mhm.
big fan of emailing it rather than mailing it just because it was easy and they'd have it instantly. And
Right.
if I was going to a listing appointment tomorrow, I didn't want to drive all the way across town to drop it off, you know. Just the email was very easy.
All right.
But yeah, that's going to be interesting too with mail. I've thought about that. I've wondered when they were going to shut down the postal service.
I don't, there's just too many things moving, too many
I have
moving parts
no
for that.
idea.
But yeah, we will see how it develops. But for now, I'm only going to emphasize one critical factor, and we're coming up on the end here. So you came in right at the right time to chime in on your suggestions. So thank you, Jason, for slicing out that time and being flexible. Like I said, I had a lot of people lined up, and I found out who were the true contributors of of our of our influencer network today,
Yeah,
because the
I'm
people who step forward,
surprised.
yeah, there was you saw the name in that group, that private group, and you're like, all of these guys should have stepped forward and give, but they were also scared to say something about what they think is going to happen. And I said, it's not about what you think is going to happen, it's about what you should do right now, and each one of those has an opinion and a perspective. But I extracted enough information from the pros who did step forward and are transparent about what they should do. Step up your video game,
Yeah,
step up your
man.
prospecting,
I'll tell
more
you
calls.
this. You know what? I am winding some stuff down that I've got going on, some little projects and some house projects I got going on with some rentals I own and stuff. I am winding that down because I'm concerned about not being able to go get like materials, starting a project, not being able to finish it. I'm worried about getting quarantined and, you know, that sort of stuff. I'm worried about like Lowe's and Home Depot not being open to finish some stuff I got going on.
Mhm.
But for the most part, things are business as usual for me. You know, like I mean, I am planning. I've changed some things and I'm finished some things so I can like stay home and closer to home, um, and not really have to go out and meet as many people and not be face to face with people. You know, as much.
Yes.
I'm a little bit cautious about that, but dude, honestly, man, it's business as usual for me.
That is one of the things that it bothers me the most, because as a public prospector, I get a lot of backlash. Oh my God, prospecting doesn't work. How can you door knock? That's so smarmy. How dare you? It's like the lowest form of life to pick up the phone and call, or God forbid, knock on the door, like a carpet salesman, right? Or a vacuum cleaner salesman. But it never penetrated my beast. I'm a rhinoceros. Like, I just charge and get out of my way, and I continue. And the biggest message I can give to all of you guys parting is, watch what goes in your brain. We are now more than ever glued to media. If you're going to consume content, I said this in a feed, like, if it doesn't have a .gov at the end of the website, don't do it. If, like, you go to a website or you hear a story and you click that link, and then you get like, find out 10 ways this fruit can make you, more, your libido up. And then on the right-hand side, you wouldn't believe what the, Olsen twins are doing now. And that is not the information source that you want. Every source I like, it is so hard though. Like, we're addicted to finding answers to clearly a situation or catastrophe for some. I mean, dude, I didn't sleep much last night, and just that, the sense that the uncertainty. I mean, I went through '07 and I was right there with the REOs. I was the guy knocking on the doors, telling them it's time. And I said, I never want to see that again. And so last night I'm thinking, is it going to be, where does it go? And for some reason, I continue to have this inner sense of peace the more I stay away from information. The information you're getting right now as a real estate agent, if you're going to transfer information, it is under the real estate banner. So you are not a doctor, and you are not, the mayor. So whatever the mayor says, if it's from the mayor's of your city website, by all means, share it, but turn comments off wherever you share it from, right? Don't give it any more opinions. Please don't share your opinion, and don't let other people share opinions with you. Only going to, websites like the whitehouse.gov, the cdc.gov, the World Health Organization, your local spaces, if you need to know that stuff. But even as real estate agents, again, see, even my mind strays going, no, real estate, California Association of Realtors, the White House, and the California website. Those are the only three. And then from there, you as individuals need to be producing your content based on what the market's doing. Ladies and gentlemen, the interest rates. How many of you have put out a post and a video saying, here's what the interest rates are doing right now? Because everybody, even though I'm a real estate agent, they always ask me, how's the market and how are interest rates? They ask you that. You have an answer to those questions. How will this affect the market? Who knows? But today, it's still a good time to buy. There's inventory, inventory still remains low. No one's, panic selling. And if they ended up packing, and see, again, I almost started doing it. I started using like panic selling, price drop, plummet, recession, depression. You've got to be very diligent and make your words and your texts impeccable, that you are only providing information limited to what you know. And that is, how's the market?
Yeah, I agree with you. And be careful what you're listening to and who you're listening to and who you're almost talking to about it, because man, the most precious thing that we have to protect during this time with a lot of the the news is negative. Let's just face it. It's super negative. I got up this morning, I watched 30 minutes of the news and I'm going, oh my God, it's worse,
Oh my God. How did you even get out of bed after that one?
Yeah, be careful about that, because you know what, man, the worst thing I remember in 2007, 2008, it wasn't really the market being bad. It was, dude, all the people that I was talking to, my friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
My friends that were making money a year before. It's like sometimes, man, every time I talk to them, they tell me about how they just got served foreclosure, or they just had their car repoed, or whatever it is. And we're going to hear stories like that. And I'm not saying don't be sympathetic. I'm not saying, don't chat with them about their problem. I'm saying be very protective over your mindset.
I remained oblivious through that crash, and I was at the peak of my game. And I because I don't watch the news. I mean, I avoided it like crazy, and all I saw was short sales were coming. So I polished off my short sale game and honestly got lucky and got in it before it became, something that you could sell a package to teach you how to do foreclosures and everybody else was in it. But, when it hit the fan in 07, 08, I literally didn't feel like I hit rock bottom until about 2012. And hindsight, had I been able to go back to my 28 self and say, what could you have done differently? I could have prospected. I could have immediately picked up the phone and called and said, hi, man. And the same thing I do now. And then when they say, you know what, we're giving it back to the bank, I could have rolled tons of short sales into sales and feeding my family and helping families, because short sales, you're helping people. Foreclosures, you're the monster.
I'll tell you this, man, and then you can wrap it up, James, if you want to. But, man, the time I enjoyed doing real estate the most was when I felt like I was truly helping people that needed me. And a lot of the times I go, wow, man, and I was really excited about being a real estate agent, felt real, like, I guess, fulfilled, was when I was helping people do short sales.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was truly a service that the general public needed. And I mean, I'm not saying that first time home buyers don't need people and stuff like that, but I'm not saying clients don't need you today, but right now there's a lot of options for them. But at that time, lots of times, man, I had the mindset that Jason was the option they needed, and I mean, man, dude, I helped. I'll tell you guys this quick story. I had this elderly couple I'd done a short sale for, and the wife had medical power of attorney and all the stuff for him. And the older man, he's probably 80 years old. He had had 4 brain surgeries. And get this, because a police officer had served him with foreclosure, he thought that if his house got foreclosed on him, they would arrest him.
Wow.
Right?
Bad information.
And, I mean, it was really just a sad, sad situation. And not only did I help them get their house sold through a short sale, I helped them get a half a moving allowance, which at the time was a $3,000 moving allowance.
Yeah.
I mean, these people, they had $0, man. They were
Beautiful.
elderly, bad health and stuff.
The thing is you lifted that pressure. like immediately when you told them the cops aren't showing and there's no foreclosure police that throws you out on the street, here's the
Yep,
process. Here's
that's
the
right. I
timeline.
mean,
And
I truly felt like
yep.
I helped people. I mean, I'll tell you this, James. I did another one though, where it was a police officer. The guy was getting tons and tons of overtime, and his wife, they'd allow you to do a short sale because of medical expenses. The medical expense was his wife got a boob job and she lost her job and they couldn't pay for it. So we submitted the bill from the plastic surgeon as her medical hardship.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, but you know what? Hey, they still had a hardship. She lost her job, I guess. But at the time, I felt like I was really helping clients, and I
And
felt
how
like I was
many of those came back
nervous.
and bought a house 2 or 3 years later? A lot of people during, when people were, if we
Yeah,
do see the inventory spike, and if we do see people actually do take that short sell option, because a lot of people, when it hit the fan in '07, they didn't understand short sell. They just walked away and threw away the key, where now maybe short sell was an option. And they've talked to people who, what they did is they walked in and threw away the key, or some people even like toughed it out and held onto it. But there were people in the same peer group that were, one would walk away, throw the key. The other one did a short sale. The one who got a short sale bought a house two years later, and the one who threw the key in the house and walked away, was like 7 years later, and their credit remained crap. And so now, if it does go to that, I'm giving you solutions to prepare yourself should it happen, how we in our capacity can continue to provide our service. Right now, this is just a physical, aerosol environment, like something in the sky that is threatening our business. The real threat will be, how will the economy respond, and how can you respond to the economical backlash of what may or may not be to come. Right now, everybody is in the same boat. Right now, to this day, no one is immune. I've got millionaire friends and I've got poor friends, and they're all like scratching, going, "Uh-oh, I had a lot of money and now my money's like not."
that's
They're
right.
making a lot of money, and they had payrolls and they had all these people, and now their business, is wealthy. And now he's like in his house, toilet paper, and bread, and we're all like the great equalizer. And the industry of real estate agents, they're all falling back and saying, "Oh, can I do Uber? Can I get a job? What can you do?" There's like nothing. You're shut in. So what can you do with the moment you have right now? Get your marketing in check, learn technologies like video editing, video production, check your lighting, clean up your desk area so that it's productive for when you do shoot a video. Go out and create crappy posts, go out and share, if you got a family, go to TikTok and start doing fun activities and share that quick little 1-minute video of like, "Hey guys, quarantine day number 2 in California, and we're, this is what we're doing today. We're washing the dog," and they watch the dog, and then people are like, "Oh, he's got a dog. I love him." And then at least you're doing something to bring cheer and joy as a member of your community, so that when the wind blows through, this viral wind blows through, now we're going to be able to at least be a little more recognized, be a little more an ambassador and a civilian in our community, and maintain that push. Because it's a popularity contest. Although Bernice Ross was in earlier and she goes, "Well, most agents go with the first agent they find or they see, but if you're top of mind, then why wouldn't you be the first one they think of regardless?" Right? They say the first one they talk to. That's why I door knock. That's why I prospect in those times. And if you build the relationship and you provide value, you'll be top of mind. And you can, when this physical disability passes, we will now have the financial disability, and we will literally be the first responders and the medical technicians who are fixing, the ailments of society. Once the doctors do it, it's going to be the real estate agents who are going to be the ones who fix this and do right by it. The banks, politics is not going to do anything. They didn't do anything last time. They'll bail out the big boys. They'll be all right, but it's going to be the small business owners and the restaurant owners and all of those people who miss one payment. And if their landlord, is a bastard and they lift that thing, they're going to evictions. But then, who knows what it's going to be? We will be there to answer the questions, because they'll think, "Wow, who can I turn to answer this real estate question? Who knows best?" And if you are human, if you put out
I
content and you
agree with.
create it, they will know you. And if you are human and relatable, they will like you, and they will inevitably trust you because you are like them. Mic drops. Yeah. So Jason, thank you a hundredfold for appearing here. Your insight and perspective on the East Coast is valuable. Jason is very unique in that he's been hit by the sky and the environment. You know, Southern California, I've been here, you know, all my life, and the big one never hit. Right? If the big one ever hit in California, that would be a problem. Colton Lindsay was going to come on and talk, but yesterday they had like, or the day before they had a 6 point whatever big ass earthquake. I go, okay, you're excused. You're excused. Earthquakes, Utah.
Thankfully.
Okay, you're off the hook, man. I knew you wanted to do this. So take care of your family, but that we, you know, that the environment or nature has been in your backyard, you know, hurricanes, tornadoes, floods we've never faced. Fires, yeah, we can see them in the distance. I've had, you know, listings with the view of the fire, but they put it out. You know, this you can't put out like a fire. So we'll have to see how we do it. But for sure, once we do it.
But you know, electricity's off 3 days. You know, you get a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread, some peanut butter, you'll be fine. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurricane isn't that bad. You know, worst case, you'll be uncomfortable for a few days.
Right.
Most of them. Yeah, this is different.
This is very different. It's uncharted territory, but once it passes, if you can just have a stockpile of lead, if you can, I say intermittent fasting, try to, you know, save, tighten the belt, save what it is, but do not back off of your lead generation so that when it comes back out, when the paper hits the article, we have a cure, it's, you know, Fruit Loops and Rice Krispies, you know, up your nose. And they're like, oh, everybody got at, you know, a lot of these potential cures are common, you know, solutions.
Right.
That
keep making calls. Don't unsubscribe to your like Red X, your Vulcan 7, whatever you use it. Don't unsubscribe to it, man. Mojo Dialer. Don't. Keep it and keep using it, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's what's gonna pull you through. It's not gonna be Zillow. Yeah, go ahead and cancel Zillow.
Facebook ads probably not practical right now. No one's gonna, you know, be like, yeah, I'm curious.
Ads,
at any form of advertising where you have to request people to approach you, you're not going to create a call to action that's going to show a level of interest in a product. It's just going to be people looking, you know, for resource of what the market's doing. That's all you can provide. You can't, you know, really show property. You can, but you can't. Who knows where it'll go? But today, one day at a time. When I woke up Monday, I'm like, all right, week, let's see what you got. I go, this should be all right. And then by Thursday, I'm like, okay, we're canceling open houses. What next? California's closed. All right. Let's okay. Friday, let's go through weekend. We got the summit. I'm glad we did it Friday because, you know, more turds hitting the fan, so I can adapt and say, what is Festini going to do today? I'm going to pick up the phone and I'm going to marathon prospect, double fist, generate people, because guess what? I called yesterday. Holy crap. I got to check my pickup rate. It was my pickup rate is usually about 6%. I'm going to guess it was upwards of 15 to 20%. I had a sore throat at the end of the day because I was just like, brr, 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 brr. People were just picking up.
James?
And no one was yelling.
If you're quarantined, what else do you have to do anyway? You know,
stick your head in the sand.
Netflix.
Prospect workout, intermittent fast. I still strongly recommend if you got a couple pounds on you, skip 2 or 3 meals. It's all right. You won't die and you'll lose a couple pounds. Yeah. Exercise, you know.
Apparently, we're going to eat and go to the bathroom according to what's happening at the grocery store.
If you're low on toilet paper, stop eating for a day or two.
Yes.
You know, you can intermittent fast. You can survive on some, you know, electrolytes and you know, smaller meals. Portion control in my family, even when it started coming out, we're like, all right, kids, time to start practicing portion control. And now I'm all guilty sneaking into the fridge at night. But I'm like, you know, but this is healthy. You know what I mean? Who knows what the supplies are, but it's a matter of supply of your financial. I've seen somewhere where they said that X amount of the United States is living paycheck to paycheck, which means millions of people have one paycheck that they cashed last week that they're not getting this week. And portion control. And if that's for agents too, you know, if you just close your deal, you know, I got a deal that I'm waiting on that I would love to have, you know, stockpile it. If you just closed your last deal and you're like, okay, and you've been depending on each deal to make it happen, and that's okay. That's how the industry is, the roller coaster. Some days you're high on the hog and some days you're not. But if you are to your last, I encourage you to don't focus on the crap storm. Focus on your effort to keep your mind off of what it is. And even if it is like staying off the news on a final note, if you have T-Mobile, Netflix is free. Very few people know that, but T-Mobile gives you free Netflix. So if you're like, well, I don't want to spend money on Netflix, a lot of people are like, wow, I didn't know that. Call T-Mobile. They'll give you Netflix for free. So yeah, thank you, Jason.
Hey, thanks, man.
Keeping on, man. If you have anything I could ever contribute, if obviously all of these people I've reached out to are going to be behind a camera, maybe if you do something, I'd be more than glad to jump on, any one of your conference calls to say what I see on the West Coast and what actions I have to take. I don't have a choice. When you don't have a choice, you do, by any means necessary. And right now, by any means necessary, prospect. That's all you got.
Yep.
Pick up the phone.
Hey, you guys have a great day, and I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Take care. Bye-bye. Festini here signing off. Thank you very much for watching. What a day, what a day, what a day. I look forward to this day, and I sure hope that some of the people who you respect that were invited to come in that clearly ignored it. Oh, well. But I want to, for the most part, say thank you for attending. The replay will be available as soon as it downloads and renders. I'll have it up available on YouTube. Just take care of yourself. Don't stick your head in sand. Watch what comes into your eyeballs and your ears, because it might come out of your mouth and you might spread more than just a virus. I think the worst virus right now is misinformation and bad opinion. I think that's just as harmful, and I'm sure everyone will agree. Bad information and bad vibrations is not something to share. So I would encourage you, most importantly, prospect. The script adaptation right now is generated to find out, do you have a lead? When will they sell? Obviously, it's not going to be today, and it was never like 3 months ago is the same thing. It won't be today, maybe tomorrow. Great. I'd love to send you out some information about the market and what it's doing right now. If you don't mind, I can keep you posted on the values. What's a good email? Use that script. Nobody's going to say, no, not right now, unless they're not motivated. Find motivated people right now and, protect yourself so that if this thing continues the way it is, they will still be the same motivated people. And I will still say, continue to call, wherever direction it goes. It never, like I said earlier, man, when it hit the fan in 2007, if I had a time machine and I could go back, I would have just said, well, first of all, sell all your toys, man, before they go down in value. But more importantly, that I was smart enough to prospect. I really, when I was living large before the market crashed, I was, the most recognized name in the neighborhood. I was able to pull the pedal off of my prospecting and door knocking in particular. But I didn't have to do a whole lot of that because it was business coming to me. And that was before the market crash. You could spend money on Zillow, Truly, or Realtor.com, and you spend $1,000, you get, $1,500 back. You could do that. You can't do that now. You haven't been able to do that for almost 10 years. So when you look at these lead generation strategies, or right now, it's not even lead generation. It's more like possibility generation, and stack your possibilities so that when an individual is interested and the time is okay to reach out, you will be there, provide value. But man, if you guys aren't stepping up your video game, that's a shame, man. Thank you very much for watching. You can always find me at jamesfestini.com, but I'll probably be live streaming my broad prospecting all day. So always find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And most importantly, the Festini Mafia membership, that $50 a month program that I always have, it grants you all access to my stuff. Like it's 170, 190 hours worth of video, $3,000 program. You pay $50 a month. And if you can binge watch it, you get the advantage. If you can't binge watch that much, it's still worth it. Thank you very much for watching, and good luck.
People ask me all the time, where do I get my data? How do I have so many good numbers without spending an arm and a leg? Because I recommend you get it from 3 places, and I merge them to create the ultimate white pages. 2 of them are Cole Realty Resources and TelephoneList.biz. They will provide you names, addresses, phone numbers, along with email addresses scrubbed against the do not call list, available for both US and Canada. Now, I do a lot of door knocking, and my favorite app to use is Realty Buddy, a GPS tracking software with robust goal setting and follow-up campaigns. Realty Buddy takes care of the hassle, and Realty Buddy is the success to my door knocking. It's only available on iOS though, so sorry Android, but I will recommend Knockwise. They're really good too. Now, have you seen my amazing local market videos for my real estate business? In one word, Terradatum. They make videos branded to your brokerage and automatically update them every month with videos by zip code, county, city, and your hyper-local market, and it's extremely affordable. Have you guys seen my website lately? Well, you should. It's absolutely gorgeous. I owe it all to Zentap. They will help you with your advertising using your MLS, IDX, and social media to attract an audience and engage your leads using sophisticated bots. Now, you're gonna need a powerful CRM to manage all of this, and as you know, Mojo Selling Solutions is more than just a dialer. It's the most powerful CRM bar none. Mojo provides you expireds for sell by owners, and that is the third list of data, along with email and mail campaigns. For more information on any of these products, along with my personal coaching and training products, go to jamesfestini.com today. Or just show financial support at any amount on patreon.com/James Festini. Now, get back to work.